Hello, I'm Lara Kulcharson and this is Newsfeed, your dose of what people are talking about online. What was supposed to be a political showdown between US President Donald Trump and New York City's brand new mayor Zohran Mamdani ended up looking more like a bromance. After weeks of trading insults on the campaign trail and on social media, their Oval Office meeting on Friday flipped the script completely. Trump, who'd been calling Mamdani a communist, suddenly praised him as a really great mayor and said he was confident he would do a very good job. And Mamdani, who had labeled Trump a despot, stood beside him, smiling, hands clasped, like the two had never exchanged a single jab.
Are you affirming that you think President Trump is a fascist?
I've spoken about...
That's okay, you can just say yes.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's easier. It's easier than explaining it. I don't mind.
Mr. President, Republican Elise Stefanik has campaigned multiple times by calling Zohran Mamdani a Do you think you're standing next to a right now in the Oval Office?
No, I know, but she's out there campaigning, and you say things sometimes in a campaign. I met with a man who's a very rational person. I met with a man who really wants to see New York be great again. I can see.
Even days after, Trump and Mamdani's unexpected love fest, as social media likes to call it, is still blowing up timelines, confusing the world, and inspiring an endless stream of memes.
Trump is being nicer to Mamdani than Democratic leadership was. LOL.
Trump defending Mamdani from journalists, asking gotcha questions.
Focus on making the city more affordable for all New Yorkers.
Isn't this guy just handsome? You think he's handsome? You think he's handsome, right?
I don't know.
Nah, you do it. If you don't, you need to start. You have a lot of similar ideas. He also has a lot of separate ideas that I'm really considering adopting.
Shouldn't you have taken the train, Mr. Mamdani?
Well, first of all, I don't like your tone. Trains are slow. Does he look like he travels slowly?
No.
He doesn't. He travels fast. He travels the fastest.
Okay.
Get the hell out of here.
Mr. Mamdani, do you think Trump's a fascist? Well,
I got you, bro. I got you, bro. Yes, he does, and I'm cool with that.
Find you somebody who looks at you like Donald Trump looks at Zohran Mamdani. Before and after Mamdani called Trump Habibi.
He says, Habibi. I said, whoa, duck and cover. What's a Habibi? What's a Habibi? He explained it's a term of endearment. So now we're best friends. He calls me Habibi.
May Allah awaken the people and help them to see the evil doings of Israel and the United States.
J.D. Vance is jealous because Trump has never given him the look of love, like he did with Zohran Mamdani.
J.D. Vance watching Trump and Mamdani today.
Social media users are speculating why Trump is giving props to his political opposite.
The first is political strategy. Even though Zohran only ran for mayor in New York City, he became the face of affordability in the entire country, which is kind of a problem because Trump ran on affordability. But because he ran on it and he promised to his voters that, like, hey, I'm gonna make life more affordable for you, and then came into office and made life infinitely more expensive for them, his base is really angry, and he's getting a lot of pushback from very loyal, hardcore MAGA voters over affordability. Latching onto the movement that Zohran created around affordability lets him signal to people that he still really, really cares about this issue without actually having to do anything. He over and over and over again takes every opportunity to reaffirm his support for not just Zohran, but the work that Zohran wants to do. By basically like glazing Zohran, he's making the Democratic Party establishment look even more useless than they already are. He's pressing on the tensions and creating further division between the new progressive wave of the Democratic Party and the establishment old guard. The other reason Trump spent literally 30 minutes glazing Zohran was not strategic. It has more to do with Trump's own psychology. Trump loves public admiration. He loves celebrity. Like, he loves fame, and anyone who achieves a level of public admiration as high as Zohran has is a winner in his eyes.
The internet is also pointing out that since the meeting, the commander-in-chief appears to be copying the younger man's look. A Fox News clip is going viral and by Monday had over 16 million views and thousands of shares and reposts.
Donald Trump popped out without the orange tan in a nicely fitted outfit and the color scheme. I was like, okay, Donald Trump, maybe he's listening to his personal stylist or something, because this is a different look. No. No, he just got inspiration.
I have never seen this nigga wear anything else besides that suit and a red tie and a MAGA hat. All of a sudden, he had one meeting with Mamdani. Now, he felt like he got to step up his drip. I knew I'd seen this before. I knew I had seen that entire fit before. This man hung out with Mamdani one time, and he changed his whole fit. That's wild, bro.
The US says it's optimistic that it has made tremendous progress on the peace deal between Russia and Ukraine. After talks in Geneva, US Secretary of State Marco Rubio said there is still work to be done on the plan that Kyiv and Europe said favored Moscow. As talks were being held in Switzerland, 4 people were killed in Ukraine's second-largest city, Kharkiv, in a Russian drone attack. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says, although there are still gaps to fill, the revised 28-point plan indicates that the US has been more considerate to Ukraine's stance. Washington has given Kyiv until Thursday to respond or risk losing their support altogether.
Now, Rubio is backing up, saying, well, no, we weren't pressuring Ukraine. It was really something that had a lot of Russian input, but also took in consideration of some Ukrainian feelings. Even though you read it, I read it, that was definitely not what it is. And so Rubio tried to calm the backlash by saying that the peace plan is a, quote, living, breathing document, meaning that nothing is final. Europe has put forward their own proposal. Now, I got my hands on one of them. There's a lot of changes, and it's definitely more fair. Just to give you 2 examples of what the changes are, Russia wanted Ukraine's military to be capped at 500. This one says it should be 800,000. Also, this is something that I think even Rubio stands with, is that Ukraine would not recognize Luhansk and Donetsk as Russian. And 2 other things I just want to point out. One is the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant would be Ukrainian. And lastly, Ukraine would be able to join NATO at some point. That aside, this was just the first round of talks. There's going to be a lot more in the next few days, according to Zelensky.
As Ukraine and the US wrestle over the so-called 28-point plan, social media has zeroed in on who drafted the original proposal and why it was like a Russian wish list.
Yeah, so it turns out that plan, not a U.S. peace plan at all. In fact, it is a Russian wish list, literally. According to new reporting from Nick Schifrin of PBS NewsHour, senators were briefed today, and Marco Rubio is now claiming that the 28-point plan actually came from Russia and not the United States. People online were speculating it was a Russian document translated into English, noting this bizarre phrasing that matched the way people speak in Russia, and, well, they were right. Senator Mike Rounds confirmed it. In his words, he said, quote, "We are the recipients of a proposal that was delivered to one of our representatives. It is not our recommendation. It is not our peace plan. It was leaked. Our allies have already blasted the plan. Ukraine called it a complete capitulation, and now we know why, because it was literally a Russian wish list."
Look, someone's lying there, right? I mean, I feel like that's the only way to go about it. Now, the senators have come back out and not really responded to this, but they just said, we thank Secretary Rubio for taking the time to walk us through the peace agreement. They're not backtracking. They're standing by the fact that Rubio told them this is the Russian plan. Rubio now in public is saying, no, this is the US plan. So look, at the very least, our allies are confused. The Polish Prime Minister today meeting with a bunch of European allies, of our European allies, trying to figure out exactly what to do here. Are they addressing the US plan and what we back? Or are they addressing the Russian demands and trying to find some middle ground? Prime Minister Tusk said, quote, "Before we start our work, it would be good to know for sure who is the author of this plan and where it was created." So at the very least, incredibly messy.
European leaders initially branded the plan as pro-Russian, but by Monday, there appeared to be tepid support for the revised American initiative. Germany's Foreign Minister Johann Wadephul said the talks in Geneva were a decisive success for Europeans since the ban on Kyiv joining NATO was removed from the peace plan, but warned that any deal should include Europeans and Ukrainians. It's just days before Australia imposes a ban on social media use for under 16s. It's aimed at letting kids be kids and designed to protect them from harmful content online. Restrictions come into effect on December the 8th. Snapchat has joined Meta, informing users under 16 that their accounts may be locked. Users now have to prove their age. The ban also applies to other platforms like Reddit, X, TikTok, and YouTube. Failing to comply will result in hefty fines. Social media companies argued their teen safety features, which allows for parental supervision, is a better alternative to a ban. For young people, social media is more than a form of entertainment. It's become a platform for communication and even a tool to run businesses.
Mental health matters, protecting kids online matters. There is a lot of stuff online that's not made for young people. And doom scrolling can definitely mess with your head. But it feels like the government is trying to take down the messenger, not the source. They're not banning adult sites, but they're banning social media. Social media is actually where most of us can connect, learn, and build communities. For me, it's literally how I'm building my business. It's where I've met other young founders, shared ideas, and created a little community. So if the concern is social media can sometimes be a gateway to harmful or adult content, why not target the harmful content itself instead of the platforms that just host the conversation? I'm all for keeping kids safe online. I just think banning social media just misses the point.
I'm gonna get hate for this, but banning teenagers from social media is not the solution because they're going to do it behind your back anyway. I know if I was a teenager, I would end up lying to my parents and I would be on social media unsupervised. I don't know if some of you missed the memo, but this is how teens communicate. It is not the 70s anymore. Instead of banning teenagers, shouldn't we be educating the parents on how to keep our teens safe? Most of the parents I speak to only know how to update their Facebook status. Maybe even placing more restrictions on teenager accounts rather than completely taking it away from them.
Social media restrictions are becoming more widespread as governments follow Australia's lead. Supporters say the ban protects mental health, reduces exposure to harmful content, and preserves in-person social development. Critics counter that and say a ban will be difficult to enforce. The most miserable person on Earth has to save the world from happiness. Well, that's the wild idea behind Pluribus, a new series from the creator of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. The first 4 episodes dropped, and the internet is already obsessed.
Selfish activism is becoming the new default for American culture. So happy to see a show not just critique it, but highlight how ineffective it is.
I need the next episode now. I can't wait another week for the next episode. Oh my god. It's insane. It's great. It's that pilot, that second episode, this is something special. He's done it again.
I want to make it clear, this is not a review of Pluribus, because I don't want to take that away from you. Because going into this, knowing as little as possible is the best way to experience what this is. I really need you to skip every review of this. Plot details have been kept under wraps for a good reason. And you'll see what I mean when you start watching this. Because when I finished that first episode, I had the lost premiere feelings. That's the best way I can describe it. This man is about to give us a generational run of some excellent television about human condition.
And that's our show. Find our latest stuff on YouTube and do subscribe to our channel. See you soon.